started. Basically, how we're going to do this is, Dave is going to kind of monitor anybody that's calling in, and he'll forward them. We have one person calling in. His name's David Nolan. He's from the Fall Soccer Club. So I sent you to change the agenda slightly. We're going to do the roll call welcome. Then we'll go into public comment next, so not to hold anybody up. Then we'll move down the lane there with the meeting minutes approval, the memorial benches, our typical procedures. And if somebody does call in or whatever, David will let us know if they have a comment on something we're talking about. We can address that. I'd like to be able to address as much as we can with things. I got some news to share with everybody. I just got the news. So once we get there, I'll share it. So I think it'll make everybody happy. It'll make me happy.
You're not pregnant, are you?
So, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have. We won't do roll call with just the 5 of us.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
Okay. So everybody's here, but Brian. Right.
Great.
Or missing somebody else.
Just Brian.
Okay. All right. We still don't have anybody for public comment, so we'll table that for now.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Excuse me,
we
Ralph.
do have a phone call.
Ralph, this is David. We do have.
Oh, we do have it?
We have one.
David Nolan coming in.
Okay.
Okay, David Nolan is now in the room, so you'll be able to talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah. He's muted.
Nope, he's muted.
David, can you hear us?
Hey guys, yep, I can hear you.
Hey, David.
Hey, David.
Hey Brian, how are you?
Hello.
Hey.
I'll just introduce David. David's actually he's running the Fall Soccer Club. He's a director over there. Sean's kind of taking a back seat. Dave, you can correct me on that. I think Sean's just kind of doing a lot of field maintenance, stuff like that. I think David's taking over the day-to-day operations over there. So I just wanted to introduce him to everyone. I've been talking to David for a while. So there's your introduction, David. Go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Dave, do you have a question or?
Sorry, I didn't. I just figured I'd come in and
You
watch
wanted
this.
okay. You want to join the meeting? Okay. Okay. That's
Wow.
fine.
Danielle,
You must
Am I
be
wrong
really
in thinking,
bored
is this a
doing
public meeting?
It is a public meeting.
We have a public.
Yeah, it's a public meeting.
On the board, how can I help you?
Not a problem. No, because it's good you are here, Dave, because we can maybe talk about the plan we were talking about. So it's
Okay.
good. So
Excellent. Okay, cool.
we're going to
Yeah.
go through some
Okay, because
procedural
they're
stuff
in the
now.
public comment portion of
No
the
worries.
program right now.
Thanks, Brian.
Do you want to do this? Can you watch on YouTube right now? Because we're.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm sorry.
No problem. If you want to stay on this meeting.
He's working with somebody else.
Hop
And he's
on and
not
say,
muted.
"I have a question." Do you want to do that?
Give him a second.
Okay, so I'll just mute my microphone, and if I have a question, I can do that.
Yep. Then you just come on and let me know you have a question.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Just mute. Thanks.
Okay.
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 All right. So David's here because he has nothing better to do? Is that it?
No.
That's right.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll move right into the March meeting minutes approval. Did everybody get a chance to get a look at them?
I did.
Okay.
I wrote them.
They're very good minutes,
And-
guys.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to accept the minutes. or
I make a
approve
motion to accept the minutes from March 3rd, 2020.
them. Okay.
I'll second. Shelley,
Okay.
a second.
Shelley, second. Okay. Any comments, corrections, concerns, complaints?
No,
Okay. All right. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay. Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Okay, there we go. We're good. Yay.
Awesome.
That's half of our official meeting right there. Okay. All right, right into the memorial bench request.
Yes, we have one.
Oh. Okay, the one request for the bench and one request for modification of the bench,
Yes,
correct?
which, yeah, do you want to talk about the regular request first, and I will get into the modification after that? That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one, it's pretty straightforward. I actually tried to call the gentleman because obviously this was dated a while ago. We haven't had a couple meetings in a couple months, obviously for obvious reasons. So I didn't get in touch with him yesterday. So this is, this consideration and approval will be contingent on him still wanting the bench, and he didn't pick a color choice yet. And they only have a choice of 4 colors under the new program. So it would be evergreen, dark brown, cedar brown, or gray, if it's approved. So it would be approved under those conditions. He still wants it, and it would be under that color. And the location, which I think I sent you all a map on, which is on the peninsula.
I think the location is crowded, isn't it?
There's a lot of room in that peninsula, Laney. I think we could fit it in over there. Yeah, it's pretty wide open.
I thought there were arrows like for half the park.
Yeah. Well, I had it on, an X on where the peninsula was, over kind of like where we do a lot of the fishing. There's benches there, but I think there's room.
There's a few little spots where there is no bench.
Yeah, we can pinpoint it with John Gillis. Like John goes out, we meet with everybody anyway before we place it. So I don't foresee any major issues there. That was a concern. There's room.
My personal feeling is that, where benches are placed, we're not going to have like 54 of them in one spot. But, even if we have 3 benches in a short cycle close to each other, they all get used. So it's not a big an issue for me. For me, my main concern is making sure it's in a place that doesn't impede maintenance of the grounds as much. So, I worry more about that than whether or not 2 benches are close to each other.
Yep, good point.
That's my personal.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm sorry, Lainey?
No, I was just wondering about, like you said, the maintenance of it, getting around all the benches, because that's going to have to be weed whacked all the way around, right? They want to be able to bring an X mark in between some of them, right?
You would have to do some weed whacking, yeah. There's weed whacking involved.
We're going to have to do weed whacking anyway, but
we're doing a lot of it anyway.
At the very minimum, you're talking 5 feet so that the equipment can get between the cut grass generally. And actually, if the benches are close together, it's easier to weed whack because they're closer.
True.
Fewer steps. But anyway,
we'll place it nicely where it looks good. Sure.
Okay. So,
I make a motion to accept the bench.
I second it.
Okay. We've pretty much all discussed it. So if there's nothing
providing
more,
he still wants it, and it'll be conditional on the
providing
4
he still
colors.
wants it, and whatever color he chooses to have.
Out of those 4.
They understand it's $1,000, so they already know the change in the program.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to clarify that, before we move forward. The next thing up is a modification.
Wait. All in favor of
I'm sorry.
with the bench?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Unanimous.
Jump the gun. The next item is something we haven't really got a request for. I just sent you all an email shortly a little while ago. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it.
I have.
There's an existing bench at the park. It's not really that old. I got to double check it. The lady is related to the person that passed away. She's an artist. She wanted to upgrade it and paint a mural on it. I did send you a sketch of it. That's like a rough sketch. She put that together in like probably 10 minutes. I know this is something we haven't really dealt with before. I don't know. Did everybody see the email by chance?
I did.
I didn't see the actual mural that wanted to go on it. I didn't see that in the email.
It was all the way down at the
It was an
bottom.
attachment.
I didn't go down far enough.
Download it and look at the image.
Yeah. It was a sketch too.
I have a question about that though. Looking at the rendering that she did.
Hold on, I'm gonna look. My camera might go away.
It looked like she has a hand that's holding, like the bird is being released from the hand.
Mhm.
but the hand is on the bench part, so you're gonna be sitting on the hand.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
Well,
Let me see.
I'm.
And I don't know if that's a representation of a god releasing a bird, or, because then you're sitting on God's hand.
Oh,
Shell, can you see
oh,
that?
it does kind of look like God's hand. You're right.
I'm not worried about what's on it when it's sitting, as long as it's still flat. You know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, those that would want to put significance into it,
Mhm.
maybe they won't sit there.
Yeah.
Worried about it. You know, the bench can't be brought up on charges of harassment. So, you know, if she can make it look that nice, that's great. It
That's
doesn't.
fine. I
but-
mean, I have no problem
Yeah.
with it. I just
No,
don't
I
want
think that
people to
would
get
look cool.
upset. Because, you know, some people get a little upset if it's like a representation of a religious type of thing, and, you know, here you're putting your butt on God's hand, so I don't know.
Yeah.
She has, she actually sent me another email. I didn't get a chance to send you over, like other, evidence of the work that she does as an artist. So I can send that all to you. And it sounds like, you know, she's going to do a lot of the work, and she's going to have to upkeep it. You know, we'll paint like a red bench red again if we have to, or, you know, we take care of the benches as they are now, but we're not painting murals. So that would be something, if it was approved, she would have to commit to maintaining. And from my interactions with her, I think she would be very, very on top of that. So that would just be the understanding we would tell her. So
Right.
Said that it would be maintained by her, sealed by her,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
and all that stuff, so.
yeah. She's
Hey,
willing
if
to do
she
it
wants
all.
to do it, if she wants to do it, I have no problem with that.
No, I think it'll be neat. Something different.
It
It
is
would be
different.
neat, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat. And she just drew that sketch in a couple. She called me today. She was backed up at work, and she did it probably within a half hour. So I would think, you know, her work's probably pretty good. But I'll get some more evidence of it, and I can show. I'll send it all to you. You know, just so you know. But Yeah.
If we're going to approve it, it doesn't matter.
okay.
I mean, like, you know, I understand what Laney's saying, but when I looked at it, I did not get a spiritual, religious.
I didn't
feel,
either. I
because-
mean, I'm looking
because
at
a
it right
human
now.
hand would release a bird.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was how I looked at it.
I think it looks cool myself, so.
I do
I'm
too.
okay with
I think it looks really neat.
And the symbolism of the black balloon on the back of it,
Mhm.
it's pretty cool.
And that's the thrust of it. That's what she wants to make sure is represented, because that's symbolic.
Yeah, I think if she wants to paint it and upkeep it, then it's cool to have something different in there, I think.
I agree with Shelley.
I'll reaffirm that with her. She's got to maintain it though. It's got to stay looking good. So
I think
Yeah,
she
you
said
can't
that
make-
in her email.
she did. She
Yeah,
did.
she did.
Yeah,
She
she
did.
did.
She did.
The bench will be maintained and sealed by myself as needed to maintain its
Mhm.
aesthetic and integrity. So,
Mhm.
There you go.
Make
Yeah.
sure it's on an ongoing basis though.
Yep.
All
Agree.
right, do we need to take an action on that, or is that?
No,
Just,
I just wanted to run it by you. It's not really a vote or anything. It's just something different. But I wanted to get your all's opinion on it though. So yeah, I'll just tell her she's good.
It is consistent with the memorial bench
Mhm.
plan.
Mhm.
How's that?
Okay. Sounds good.
There you go, Ralph.
All right. All right. So I have to wait for you to call a vote. I have to wait for you to call a vote.
Nope. Not
No.
this time.
Okay. All right. So I'm up here. Park facility updates. There's a lot going on with the parks. I just got news right before the meeting that we will be reopening the parks, the playgrounds, pavilions, basketball courts, tennis courts, everything this weekend.
how are
Probably
we going to
Friday.
do that?
We are going to put signage up everywhere, you know, with the COVID-19 precautions. We're moving to the yellow phase on Friday. Dr. Damsker put out guidance that playgrounds can open, and it's up to each municipality how they wanted to handle it. We've been going back and forth on it, whether we wanted to wait in the yellow phase or the green phase. I can tell you the neighboring municipalities, Bristol's opening up this weekend. Middletown and Lower Makefield are waiting until the green phase. But you know, we decided with everything going on, the weather is getting beautiful. It's getting harder and harder to keep people off the playgrounds. They were ripping the tape down over the weekend. Are you
Not
there?
only that, I think it'll be a good outlet.
Well, I printed out some of the stuff off the state's website regarding all the guidelines and stuff.
Mhm.
And this is what they're doing. All picnic pavilions, playgrounds, natural play areas, visitor centers, exhibit halls, amphitheaters, and group camping facilities statewide will remain closed indefinitely.
Right. Now, we were going by the PRPS guidance, and the
I have that too.
Yeah, that's what we were going by. The thing is, a lot of municipalities, what happened here, I can tell you what happened here. This all
This is the
started up in
county.
Percy. It all started up in Percy over the Memorial Day weekend. There's been a lot of protests going on about playgrounds, and they decided to open. A memo went out, an internal memo through the police chiefs and Bucks County, that playgrounds were to open immediately. It was leaked publicly. We weren't aware of it. No other municipality was. So we were kind of caught off guard on that. And that has kind of spurred a lot of townships and municipalities to kind of make their own decision going forward here. It is up to each municipality, to make that decision whether they want to go yellow or wait till the green phase. But I'm thinking, the board decided forth on it that we would like to get things, back up and running. My goal originally was to get the dog park, skate park, and the tennis courts open under yellow, and the playgrounds would wait. But it looks like we're going to be, moving forward with everything. And I think we'll have the adequate signage up, which we need to have. Telling people all the COVID precautions, wash your hands, social distance, all the things that we're being taught to do. If you're sick, don't come. The playgrounds will not be sanitized. They are playing at their own risk. That's a big one. So we have that up there. We're kind of going to the thing. It's personal responsibility now.
Okay, because I've also printed out the Pennsylvania Department of Health. The governor, says public playgrounds may be used by child care providers and summer programs offered in counties with yellow or green phase. Summer programs must adhere to the CDC guidance for child care programs that remain open, including cleaning and disinfecting and social distancing practices.
Right.
They want you to disinfect us.
Well, that was addressing organizations like daycares and such.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not talking about
that was,
individuals.
according to them, that's the only way that public playgrounds would be open was for childcare use and summer programs.
That was the original guidance. And then Dr. Damsker came out from Bucks County, said playgrounds can open under the yellow phase, and it's still up to the municipalities to do that. So
Yes. Well, you're caught in the middle because the
it's
state,
been very,
state's
very.
guidance is being changed by the county.
It's been very, very, very stressful making this decision. It's been so back and forth. I'm going to be honest with you. There hasn't been a lot of the communication has not been very good from the state down to the county. It's just been all over the place. And we're kind of left on our own. Like you said, Ralph, at this point, our staff's been enforcing this for 2 months now, keeping the park closed. And it's getting more and more difficult. They ripped the tape down last weekend. We put it back up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend this weekend. And we're going to be in green very quickly, I believe, anyway.
I think so too.
It's usually 2 weeks is, and the cases went down again in Bucks today, I think, or it's pretty much, going down the risk. And some of the latest CDC guidance says you might not be able to get it from touching surfaces. They're saying that's not the biggest conveyor of the virus. I mean, it's still the droplets and kids being around one another. But again, that's going to come back to the parents.
I don't think it's unreasonable at this point in the whole process to ask people to be responsible for themselves.
Yeah, I think we're at that point. I going back and forth on it. We were trying to stay consistent with the neighboring municipalities from the standpoint we didn't want somebody to get blasted with people. And Bristol went on their own this weekend, and everybody else, they were going to get everybody going there.
Yeah.
They're already doing it there. I'm going to tell you right now, they're already ripping stuff down everywhere and using playgrounds. But
I don't think it's an unreasonable thing
and
to.
what I'm going to do when we open, I'm going to encourage people to visit the other playgrounds, not just the community park. We have other ones in the township. So I'm going to say, hey, it's really crowded there. There's other ones to use. And, we have like 14, 15, whatever it is.
Right.
Take advantage of that. And, I think it can be done. I think I think we're at the point of personal responsibility personally.
I think so
do.
too.
I think for everything we are at this point.
And my staff's been at the park. It's been hard, keeping things. People have been really cooperative. They've really been great. But and then once the county kind of went out there and said things can open, we've been getting calls left and right. It's getting hard to say no. Like, why are you not doing it when everybody else is doing it? It's a split.
The decision's been made. The
Yeah.
best you can do is make sure the stuff's in good condition and the signage is up.
And we're inspecting it right now. We're going to inspect all the playgrounds before we open on Friday. We did find a problem today with one, which was, it's just, with one of the swings we had to remove, but we'll get that fixed. That happens all the time. We're always inspecting them, and if we had to take something out, but that'll, we'll get it ready. We'll have the signage up, and we'll be good to go. Now, the only thing that will not be opening are the bathrooms. We actually had the outside company has been cleaning the township building since this whole thing started. We contracted out. They came back with an astronomical quote to clean the bathrooms at the parks. It's usually been handled by Maria, our cleaning lady, in the past. That could be where it goes back to. We were hoping to bring an outside company to do them twice a day, especially on weekends, but the cost is just astronomical. I just found this out before the meeting. So,
Brian, I have a question. The county has decided to open up, and that's why we have to go that way. Are they opening their facilities like that? Are their bathrooms open?
I don't know. I have to double check their bathroom facility. I don't know about that announcement, to be honest. I'm not
If they've
sure if they
chosen
went
not to
bathroom.
open the bathrooms, there's no reason why we should.
Right.
I don't
So,
think they were.
I actually talked to Matt, the manager, before. He was right before I came in with you all, and we're going to try to work on something, to get them open, get them cleaned or whatever. So it could just be Maria doing them, like we've always done them. They'll be done in the mornings.
Open with daily sanitation information signage required.
Yeah.
And that's on your PRPS reopening guidelines.
Yeah. So, we'll be, I would think that my suggestion was, we got to get them open because you got to offer hand washing facilities. So, I think we can.
I'm sorry, Brian. It says on their website that their bathrooms are still closed.
Yeah, even with
Core
things
Creek.
opening.
For Core Creek.
Yeah, that's Bucks County. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if the
bathrooms
county's not opening
are
their
a tough one.
facilities,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
if
is
they're
it
not opening
possible?
theirs,
Is it possible to order those, hand sanitizer stands?
Well, I worry about putting a stand out there. I think somebody would take it.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Now, even when the parks were closed and, we opened and closed the parks, we kept the porta potties there. They've been there the whole time, and they have
Yeah, they're still there.
sanitizer in them. So
You gotta go,
If
you gotta go.
if you're a community park, you have two right by that playground, right there. And
Yeah.
you have a porta potty right by the phase 2 playground. Quaker Penn, I have a porta potty down by the boat ramp. The bathrooms aren't open yet. So that was the whole idea, not getting extra porta potties, having that facility. And most of the parks don't have restrooms. They don't. The satellite parks never have. So
none of them do.
I think we need the porta potties and leave the other ones closed.
I would.
that's
Exactly.
probably what we're going to do in the short term.
Yeah, until the county opens, I wouldn't.
And what I'm telling people too, I want to tell, bring your own sanitizer with you.
Yeah.
You should be bringing it with you. If you're a parent, you shouldn't leave home without that.
No.
And I think at this point, most people do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Right. So, yeah,
I
I
don't
think,
think Maria's going to clean it every day.
And that stuff is starting to come back in the stores. You're starting to see
It is.
the wipes and the hand
Sure.
sanitizer. You're starting to see them.
Yeah, that'll get
stores
better.
again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's where we're at there. Kirby Park, we did remove the old playground. That's been removed. It's got a blank slate, and I'm going to be actually talking with the installer for the new playground. I was holding off on this. I'm trying to time it to put it in and reopen it when the kids can actually play on it. I didn't want to put it in and then have it sit there with tape on it. So this will be a nice thing now that we're reopening too. That's another good thing about reopening. So I'm hoping to get an answer from him this week to get a schedule because he was tied up. He was shut down for a while and he's catching up on jobs. So I'm hoping to get that, that playground in within the next month. So that'll be a nice addition, that new playground that we got approved. So that's a good thing going forward. Quaker Pen Boat Ramp. Boat Ramp's been operational. The docks were in on April 18th. They only went in 3 days late. So we've been running that as normal. We have changed everybody can get their seasonal and daily pass now online without having to visit the township building. That was something Matt and I worked on, with John in our computer department to get that lined up. Because people couldn't come into the office, so we kind of came up with that. That's working really well. So they don't have to come in and fill the paperwork and get the placard during office hours. They can do it anytime.
Oh, that's good.
That's been a great move. We're really trying to move into the 21st century there a little bit on some things. So that's good. Like I said, all the signage will go up at the playgrounds. All the facilities are going to reopen probably over the next 2 days. We're doing inspections there. Trying to think where else at the pool. The pool, obviously the pool is going to be closed for the summer, but we are going to finish that pavilion. Gives us time to finish that pavilion. It was started right before everything got shut down. So guys have been reallocated, and Elaine, you could probably tell you, like cutting grass right now, doing a lot of that stuff. But that'll get done obviously before next season. So. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're just kind of getting back into the parks since they've been closed. So there's not a lot else going on in terms of that.
Are we going to be able to do anything with camp, or it's just done?
No, I was going to get into that when I got into I might as well just jump into the report here. So
Sorry.
No, it's okay, because that transitions me right in. No, actually, obviously the pool's closed. There's really nothing else we can do about that. That was my recommendation. I thought about it a lot. There was a lot that went into it. Finances were a part of it, not the whole thing. We were worried about restrictions on allowing so many people in the pool at a time. And
how would you facilitate that?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we would have to hire people just to make sure people are socially distanced. I don't know how you socially distance kids in a pool. My biggest thing on it was we were going to have people reserve times to come in to swim. I wasn't in favor of that. Our members come at 12 o'clock. Some of them are there all day. They come and go. They come whenever they want. I want them there. If they're paying for something, they should get a good service. And I wouldn't want that first hot weekend, like this weekend coming up, could be an example of that. On a Saturday, a line's out the door, and I have to go out and say, sorry, sir, madam, even though you're a member, you can't come in today. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. And I just felt it wouldn't be a good, we wouldn't be providing a quality service for a fee. I'd want my money back. My money back. I wouldn't do it. And we couldn't afford to get more money back during the season. We're already short. We were down 65% in revenues. And I didn't see us making that up. And it came down to a lot of that. And then, what if there was an exposure there? Then I hire a bunch of kids to work there. Now I have them possibly exposed. We have a lot of senior members. The virus has been really bad on them. That's the demographic. And, I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. So that's where that reasoning went into. The summer camp, I did work on an alternative plan. I could tell you what the other municipalities are doing. They've canceled all their big camps too, or they're going to be doing it soon if they haven't already.
Yeah.
Like Middletown has a 400-person camp. Ours is 175, so a little smaller. But they're scaling back and going to half-day options, 20 kids in the morning, 20 kids in the afternoon. I did present that to the board as an option. They weren't comfortable doing that just yet. And we had a complication too, is we're in Pennsbury School District. We're guests that are in their building. They never said we couldn't use it, but I was in constant communication because they have a lot of pressures to get these schools open in the fall, and they need to be ready. And they usually have to rush to clean when we're done. So when we announced we were closed, and I reached out to them, and the principal, who I have a great relationship with, she said, I'm a little relieved. I love your camp. I'm a little relieved though, because we have new protocols we got to implement to clean. We got to deep clean it. We have a lot of pressure to open up in the fall, and having my kid home for 3 months in my house.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. So there was no apologies there. They never said we couldn't though. But the board made that decision. You know, it was, again, the protocol, the kid comes down with it or a staff member, you have to isolate the kid. Then you have to put a staff member in the room with them until the parents come. I didn't want to do that to any of my staff because anybody's going to be me going in there. I want to tell them they got to go in there with somebody who could be, and that's traumatic for a kid too, to be isolated. Oh my God, you have the virus. You know how kids are. That larger camp, and they didn't want to go with the smaller camp, but I'm working with David, who might chime in here, and maybe Tim's in there too. We're working on a possible idea to partner with Fall Soccer Club and the Super Soccer Stars program, and maybe do a sports soccer camp at the park outside. We'll be doing small groups of like 10, pods of 10, half-day options, so forth. That's been presented to Matt and the board to review. It would take place over 6 weeks, June 29th through August 7th, we were talking, which is about 6 weeks. Would start.
What was the dates again?
6/29 to August 7th, Monday to Friday. And it would be a half-day options. It'd be a group in the morning, a group of kids in the morning, and another group in the afternoon. Like a group from 8 to 8:30, 11:30, and the other group 1 to 4, something like that. So that's been presented. Where I'm working with David on that, and David McGillivray from Super Soccer Stars. So that could be an option too, since it's outside and so forth. So with all the COVID precautions, that we've been following, that we'll follow too, like we're doing everywhere else. So that's kind of how
It would only be soccer, right? It wouldn't be any other sport, just soccer?
It's going to be, and David could chime in. It's going to be soccer, but we're going to do it's going to be kind of a sports camp too. We're going to do some other sports too, which I think we talked about. Dave, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. So yeah, I mean, the premise would be to run like a 3-hour program. So a half-day program with soccer and multi-sport. So it'll be split up into 2. So that way it's much easier to handle. The trainers will be, listen, they're paid trainers. They know all the safety precautions, individual groups, individual drills, so on and so forth. So it's great to get the kids out, but in a safe way, to give the parents a break, which I think is crucial. And, if we get the go ahead, we're ready. Like Brian said, we're using our Soccer Stars partners and our Maestro trainers who we use for our soccer team. So we're ready to go if this gets a green. If like the dates that you mentioned, Brian, they're flexible. If we need to push it back a week, enable it for green, or like we're going yellow, but if we're comfortable in green, we can push it back. We're very flexible. We just want to get the kids out there. Like it's all about community, getting the kids out there, giving parents a break, and trying to get back to some sort of normalcy.
Would it only be restricted from I know you can push it one way or the other, but I know like with the summer camp that we have during the regular years, the parents always wish that we would have it longer because there's been weeks where they have to find coverage before the kids start back to school. Is there any flexibility in making this a longer program so we would be able to, help out that way?
There is. Well, we could definitely look at that. I mean, I think we're looking to market it in a 2-week format and a 6-week format. But, if we want to do it on a 3-week and an 8-week or a 2-week, bi-weekly, whatever works for the community, we're open to. And
I just think it would be more helpful to the parents, considering, like Brian said, they've been having kids home for a couple months now. If they could, have that flexibility where, they might be going back to work then in August. A lot of companies might be opening up again. So now you have all these parents that need to go back to work that were, working from home or whatever, and they're going to need some sort of child thing for their kids. So, if we could push it further into August, closer to when the school's kind of opening, we might be able to actually help a lot of our residents.
Right.
Yeah, we're totally on board with that. So, like, we're very, very flexible. It's like you're saying, and I like it. It's all about the community and helping everybody out.
The flexibility, Laney, you're right. That the flexibility is there. The one thing we do have in our favor is we're outside at the park. We're not beholden to the limits with the school district. So I mean, that's something we could talk about. And I like the idea we're offering 2-week options too. Summer camp, you have to commit to all 6 weeks. It's how we run that. Yeah, David and a lot of Dave's involved here. We talked about, having that option. Maybe parents can try it for the 2 weeks. It's good enough for them. And then they can sign up for the rest if the kids like it. They're not going to be tied into it for all 6 weeks if they don't want to be. So,
You don't have any idea how much it would cost?
Yeah, David, we were looking at, what was it for 2 weeks?
It was
280 something.
260 for 2 weeks and 7 for the 6.
We would give them a discount if they signed up for all 6
weeks.
Yeah, and that's to cover the cost of the trainers. And we would probably be bringing in a couple of our camp counselors too, to help out too. So I'm trying to, incorporate some of our staff that unfortunately
How much is it for the 6 weeks?
what was
So
it,
for the 6
seven something? Forget what
It was 760 with the discount. That does include covering some of your employees as well. We definitely brought that into the pricing.
That was to cover a couple of our counselors, Lainey. I asked for that for
How
their
about
pay.
if we do an 8-week program?
So we can look at changing the numbers to accommodate. Yeah, we can give a discount. If someone wants to do the 8 weeks, we'll give her a bigger discount.
I think we should offer an 8-week program and a 6-week program, and then have the people have the flexibility to do 2 weeks or whatever. I think that really would, help a lot of people.
I think that would help a lot of people.
How about a 2, 4, 6, and 8, or 2, 6, and 8? It's something like that.
Well, we can.
I just think anything that we have flexibility and have an extended time is going to help, because a lot of the other summer programs are going to stop.
Right.
In the beginning part of August. We're still going to have availability, so somebody might want to jump in for those last 2 weeks.
And the good thing is too, I think I think we'll be in green probably by the time we would start anyway, if everything goes well. So that'll help us. David can attest to it. We'll still have restrictions, but it'll be a little. We'll have a
It'll
little
be more lenient
to do things. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a maximum on how many kids can be involved.
Well,
I don't know. We didn't really look at that. We have a huge field there, so it depends on how many trainers we can get, and that sort of thing too.
Yeah, I mean, what we did look at.
I'm asking is because, like I said, a lot of these summer programs end at 6 weeks, and if ours goes the extra 2 weeks, we might be picking up from people from Middletown, from Bristol, from all over the place.
Yeah.
They have
I can tell you, Middletown. There's, since they have their own facilities, they're starting their camp late. They're doing mid-July through like mid-August, because they wanted to get us further away from the yellow and the restrictions, which makes sense. And that would help us too. But like you said, we would still pick up kids in that later time frame, Lainey, like you said, from somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
to me, that's less of an issue than getting it started in the first place. And what population are we serving? Is this primarily going to be the population that did our summer camp, or is this going to be just as much fall soccer club, so that there could possibly be a ceiling of what we would be able to serve?
Yeah, I could talk a little bit about that. Well, I'm going to market it to all our camp parents. I'm going to send it, hey, this is an alternative, because some of them are asking for that. But yeah, I mean, obviously some of the soccer kids from the club will be doing it, but I'm hoping we can get, with that multi-sport thing, portion of it, kids that aren't necessarily just into soccer. That was important for me when I was talking with David and Dave about doing something. I mentioned the kickball thing that I do. Just to like the schoolyard kickball that we do in the fall. There's kids that don't necessarily play organized sports, or maybe are a little intimidated by doing that. If we can bring that demographic, something I'm interested in and trying to reach out to, and I do have a pipeline on that. And then some parents might be interested in that. Not to say we're not going to turn anybody away, but yeah, that'd be my goal.
Yeah, we could look at doing track and field. Like, we want to cater to everybody, not just soccer.
Yeah.
So this isn't soccer, like, even though fall soccer club are involved, it really is the thing we're looking to run here and get as many kids as possible, to be honest. We're just to your camp, just a fall soccer club. I would make it a community-wide program. I think.
Is anything going on with the hockey rink and what we wanted to do there?
That's been kind of put on hold, where we have to get the surface addressed. I'll get into that a little bit later on that. I can talk a little bit. We're working on something there. Yeah, we're actually applied for a grant. The township hired a grant writing company that is looking to help us to get some grant money for that project. So that could be a good thing. So we presented some stuff. It was actually due on the 31st. So we might get some help there on the hockey rink.
Well, the only reason I asked was because of the multifunctional sport thing. So,
Okay. Well, we'd be focusing on keeping the kids on that one side of the park where the soccer fields are, I think, with this program. I don't want kids all over the place. That's a little,
okay.
you know, but down the line, Leanie, that's a great idea. Once we do get that going, you know.
Yeah, Brian, like just to touch on that a bit, like
Yeah.
we have to, and we will cater the program to keep kids in a green group, a red group, a yellow group to
Colored.
keep them separate for precaution reasons.
Yeah.
So that they will be in the same groups every day.
Yeah. That's going to be the big
limit
thing.
the risk. Yeah, we limit the risk to everybody.
And you
And
all
that'll
know
be
how busy
according
the
to
park
age?
is.
Will that be
Yes,
according to age?
Primarily to age, but if, and I know I did discuss this with Brian, if there are siblings close in age that stay together, we'll keep them together. So primarily age, but if we can keep a 4 and a 6 together, we will. A 10 and an 8-year-old, whatever it is, like families together. Again, from
Yep.
All right. I just have one more question about this. The maintenance of the fields and stuff, because we're going to have this camp running now during the summer at our community park. How is that the grass, the mowing of the grass, all that stuff that's usually kind of, how are we going to do that if we got people running around all the fields?
We'll just have to work around that a little bit. Yeah, that's a challenge that we have to undertake on it. Obviously, Dave and those guys do a lot of field work on their own, and when they're doing soccer too. That's something we'll have to look at and try to tailor things around it. We can move around. We have a lot of field there to move around. So I think we could, Dave, you can join in. I think we can move the kids around, to accommodate for the guys doing the grass and stuff. And it's gonna
absolutely, yeah. That's something we can definitely cater to.
Easy, yeah. That's a good question, Eleni, because you're right, because it needs to get done. So, yep. So that's kind of where we're at on that. That's something that's been presented. I'm waiting to get some feedback, from Matt and the board on it. David's waiting on me patiently there for an answer. So once I get an idea of where they're leaning on it, I'll let you all know on it. So that's where we're at there. Dave,
Would this be
else
something that we're looking forward to in the future to keep doing?
Well,
in addition to the summer camp?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to go back to the camp next year. That's definitely something we're going to do. That's a great program. But no, I think, David, I mean, depending how well this goes, if there's a lot of interest in it, there's nothing to say we can't do. There's nothing to say we can't do multiple things. That's not a bad thing.
Like as far as Fall Soccer Club is concerned, like we're very interested in partnering with the township and as much as possible.
Yeah, and I had an idea. I think it was my first or second year. I had an outside group looking to do a sport camp when our camp ended because of what Laney was talking about. There's like a glut of 3 weeks there when we're done, 3-4 weeks, where the parents have nothing for the kids to do. And it didn't work out well then, but if we do this program this year, that could bode well for doing some things down the line next year too. It could be a supplement to our camp or just another program we can offer people. No, I don't think it's a one and done.
Well, this year could be a springboard for that.
Yeah. There's nothing saying we can't do multiple things. I'd be open to it as long as, if it goes well. And obviously, first time you're doing something, you learn what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we would tweak it. And obviously we'd have less restrictions, cross our fingers in the future to do things. It'd be a little easier too. So
yeah, that's a very optimistic way to look at it, Jess, saying this could be a springboard. I'm looking at it like a really thin board across a chasm we're crossing right now. So,
yeah. Think positive. Think positive.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah,
hey, Brian, this is Tim from the soccer club. Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm Tim Watkins. I'm the secretary on the board of directors for Falls Soccer. A quick question is, my son doesn't go to Pennsbury. He goes to the Catholic school. When does the Pennsbury go back to school in the fall? Are we looking at Labor Day or?
Ralph,
usually before Labor Day.
It's usually
you have to look at the.
It's right before Labor Day.
It's
It'll
usually
be
that
before
last week.
Labor Day,
It will
usually.
be before Labor Day if Labor Day is
Okay.
late.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good. All right.
Yeah.
That gives us an idea then.
Um,
Perfect.
Yeah.
There
Keep
may
'em
be,
busy.
let's see. Yeah, it'll be before Labor Day this year, I believe, because the 1st of September is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Labor Day's late this year. It's the 7th. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
It'll start before Labor Day.
Yeah. I usually
I don't
on
know,
usual
but
weeks.
I'm pretty sure it will be.
It's usually about a week before Labor Day. It's usually that Wednesday prior, because I know that from the pool season,
Gotcha.
when my kids go back. So yeah, there's a few weeks there, Tim, that you got to keep them occupied. And that extra question, right?
It sure did. Thank you. many different versions. No, it's great. Thank you.
I hear you. So okay. Anything more on that? Anybody have any other questions on that? I can go down the list of everything else going on.
Go for it.
Okay. Obviously yoga's been canceled since the senior center's been closed. So I'm going to probably be reaching out to Cecilia soon to see they're eventually going to get back in under, they're going to be restricted too over there at the senior center. So we'll resume that program once I know, what their protocol is going to be, what they want to do. We use the annex building. We have a small group, so I don't see us having a problem.
Just to answer Tim's question, first day of school for elementary and starter to the new schools is the 31st
Okay.
of August. So,
Okay.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
It can't be tomorrow.
How about early starting tonight, perhaps?
No. Okay. So yeah, that's good news. I'm looking forward to schools getting back though. I mean, it'd be good for the kids in all seriousness. So yoga will resume once I get further guidance from Cecilia. Obviously the camp and the pool were unfortunately closed for the season. Touch a Truck's been canceled, obviously, for obvious reasons. Not the best event to run in a pandemic when you can't touch anything. We'll come back in 21. What we did do there for our sponsors this year, we offered them 3 options. They could, because the township's going to make a donation to Barcan and the Autism Foundation, regardless. So we offered all the sponsors an option to, make the donation this year if they wanted us to do that, refund or push their money till next year. As of right now, we got, I think, Carr and Duff, I think Jones and Associates are engineers, and I think somebody else is going to join in the township's donation this year for to both causes, and then a few other ones are going to push their money to next year. I'm still waiting to hear back from others. So we did offer 3 options on that, and a lot of the giveaways that I bought for Touch a Truck we'll give away at our events, like our family festival. Crossing my fingers for that in September. We'll give that stuff out, like the wristbands and the glasses. Remember the stuff I was ordering for that? So we'll just give them out at our table that day. So, because they do have the year on them. So, so they won't go to waste, and we'll just get more next year. So that's been canceled. All special events, concerts, pavilion rentals for June have been canceled. Ralph, I think the car show will be back in July. I think one more month, and I think we'll be good. I talked to Lenny the other day, so I'm hoping to get you guys back out there.
I got to see how well all these old buggers can actually wear masks.
Yeah. So I canceled. We had 2 concerts scheduled in June, the 21st and the 28th. I canceled them. I rescheduled one to the back end in September. Usually we're done the 6th of September. We're going to have a concert on the 13th. The one band's not available, so they're just going to be canceled. So I'm taking things month to month right now. So I'm hoping July we get the green. We can resume the concerts. I can socially distance those people. They don't have to be under the pavilion necessarily. The band can play under there. I can put them in the field. They can spread out if we had to do that. So I'm comfortable in doing that. I think we'll get most of our concerts in, weather permitting. And we'll pick up our pavilion rentals. We had some people. We refunded a lot of pavilion rentals this year. We rescheduled some, but we'll resume them in July. DB3 was canceled, obviously. The Vietnam vet, met with them a few weeks ago. They made the call. It just wasn't going to work this year. For any of you who've been to that event, but we'll have them back next year. Unfortunately, yeah, June's kind of a wash on a lot of our big events. So that's where we're at there. We just hired a 7th member for our park security staff. She's starting next week. One of our staff hasn't been working during the whole COVID-19 thing. It was her choice. So we're actually down to 6 people right now, but I hope to have her return. Her son's home. She got to stay home with her son, and that's the reason. So, but we hope to bring her back once everything's okay and he's back in school and everything. I think we'll be good. And our goal is to have 4 park guards on Saturdays and Sundays. That's the whole idea behind it. So I think we can pull that off. And so she's starting within the next June 10th. I think is gonna be our first day. And I got to get her certified in CPR and first aid the following week, and she'll hit the ground running with us. So I'm excited about that. We had a new seasonal maintenance worker start this week at the park. We might be bringing another one back. They were all kind of, I want to say, furloughed when this all started. All the seasonals were sent home. We just started bringing them back because we're getting busier in the parks. So we should be in pretty good shape going forward there because we're going to be getting busier, obviously, with things opening up. I'm working on a plan right now to do a drive-in movie series at the park this summer.
Oh, that would be cool.
I was contacted by a company, David's company, who does the meetings here with us. They're involved with Mid-Atlantic Group. Guy reached out to a lot of myself and my fellow directors in Bucks County about doing drive-in movies. I don't know if you've heard, they're becoming popular again. Obviously,
of course they are.
Something like this during the pandemic, you can socially distance and do all that. So I met Kyle last week at the park. We're talking about doing a bi-weekly series starting the end of June. We're going to do Friday and Saturday nights. It'll be the same movie both nights. So if you can't make Friday, you come Saturday. It's going to be family movies, obviously. We're looking to start the end of June and go bi-weekly through July. And then there's one in August. They kind of wind down. So we only have one mid-August. Then I have some movies in the park that I'm doing. Not the drive-ins at the end of August. And then there's one in October. So we're going to have movies at the park throughout the summer. I'm working on this right now. It's going to be a 50-foot screen. They do a light show before the movie goes on. We're going to be in charge of parking cars. Our staff, I'm going to bring some of my seasonal workers in, offer them some work to help our park staff out to do it. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, we're still working, we're working some details out right now. They're going to cover the cost of the staff. So there won't be really anything out of our pocket.
What's the name of the company?
It's Mid-Atlantic Group. And the idea is we're going to do a series. Then I think they're going to do something down at the Bristol Riverside. Is that right? Theater down there somewhere?
Yeah.
They were talking about doing something down there. And then they might do some concerts maybe with Paul in Middletown at Oxford Valley Mall if he joins on, and then Lower Makefield. It's going to be like a Bucks County series through the summer. So it's kind of cool.
Where would it be in our park? Where would the drive-in be in our park?
Field 4, where we hold the family festival. The cars will go on there. The screen will be set up on Field 3, which is the one closest to, it's where we had the queue before, Lainey. Those years. The screen will go there, and then we'll park the cars on Field 4. We did it. We did a Google map and a drawing and a plan. It looks like we could probably fit 400 cars on there. The cost to get in will be $20 to $25 a car. So it costs about $5,000 to run one of these shows, with licensing, staffing, for the company. So I think they can stand to make a profit on this. They can cover our costs for staff, and we can also help the other municipalities out that don't have the size a park like we do. So they can maybe pull off doing some events too. It's about everybody kind of doing something together as a county. So I'm working with the other municipalities and townships on it. Well, I'm the first one to go on it. They're following me at this point. So if you can't make Falls, you could probably go to one of their spots, if it's not a good weekend. So I'm excited about it.
Off of the big screen, is that where the sound would come through?
What's that?
The sound? Because usually
It'll
the
be-
drive-in,
it'll
it
be
puts it up
radio.
on your window.
Through your
radio.
radio,
Car
just
radio.
like the Christmas houses. Tune to
Okay.
channel such and such. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be neat. And I think for the first movie, we're not going to let, people have to bring their own food. But I think once we get to July, I might bring a few food trucks in too. When people have a little, when they can come out of their cars, buy some food. I don't want to do that for the first one. I didn't think that was, I didn't want to do that. We're still kind of a little, I kind of want to see how, I want to see how that first weekend works out, because we got to work the kinks out with us with parking the cars and everything, making sure everybody can see, and working on that right now. So the board, I'm waiting on the final proposal to send to the board for review. I talked to Matt, our boss. He was excited. He wants to bring his kids. I think it'll be great for families. I do.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Especially when we've taken some stuff away right now, which I don't feel great about. If we can give some back, I think that's the goal. So
Yeah, I think people like that.
yeah, so this will be fun. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to, hopefully we can pull this off and it'll go well. That's pretty much what I have for most of my reporting. Everything else is kind of, we're just going to be picking back up, at this point.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So, and I kind of went over those plans earlier. So that's kind of where I'm at on everything.
Are you still thinking about doing some sort of art camp or something, Falls Township Senior Center?
Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to talk to Cecilia about at the senior center. I might try to do, we're talking about sports and soccer. Obviously all the kids in camp aren't into that. So my daughter being one, maybe do like a small arts and crafts camp or something, maybe at the annex or something. So I got to work with her on that. My problem is I don't have a lot of building space. I wish I did. I'd love to bring them in the public meeting room and drive all the employees crazy. Building. That's an option. My office is right there. So I don't know. That might be something. I might even try that. Even if I can get 10, 15 kids, one group in the morning, another group in the afternoon, it gives the parents a couple hours. We could do that cheap too, Lainey. I would just have to cover my staff. We'd hire a couple counselors and probably Miss Tina, our art teacher, and then maybe the coordinators. But no, I'm looking at maybe doing that in conjunction with that sports program. Yeah. So I just need a building. That's the key. So, which is why we need a rec center.
Told you to buy a path, Mark. You guys didn't do it.
I wanted that. Yeah. Well, Mr. Boraski's he's interested in it. I did talk to him about it. So, and maybe down the line we can look at feasibility study on that. I know Ralph looked at that years ago, right, Ralph? Didn't you guys look into that about a rec center?
Yep. At least twice before.
Yeah, it might be time to do it 3 times.
3 times a charm, right?
We could do 8-week camps like Lainey's talking about. We wouldn't be beholden to anybody.
Hey, Brian, why can't we use 3 arches for the, all right?
Well, I don't know how many kids we can get in there. I mean, it's an option, I guess. Not my
You could
top
get 10
option.
or 15 kids in there.
Yeah, I guess we probably could in that main room. That's not, yeah. You know what?
It's one of the spaces we have.
It's true.
And who said you have to stay inside? You could maybe do it out in the parking lot at times too. We have it nice paved now.
Well, you know what? And they have, it's close to the road there. We have a little grass there. They could go outside too, because I'd like to get them outside a little bit. Even the kids doing arts and crafts. That's not a bad idea. I thought about it. I'm like, but you're right. That could be something.
We've been looking for something to use the 3 arches for.
It's true. That's true.
It would probably actually be perfect.
The only problem is I don't have air conditioning in it. I don't have air conditioning. That's the problem. That'd be the one problem there. It's hot in there during the day in the summer.
Could we get a portable unit or something just to put in there?
Yeah, we probably could. I'd have to look into it. I'd actually want to add air conditioning in there at some point to the downstairs at least.
But in the interim, if we can rent like a portable unit or something that we could put in there. There's bathrooms available in there and
Yeah.
Something to look at. Possible. Okay. That's something I'll consider, but stay tuned on that. I'll work on some ideas with that. Not against it. I like to do something though, so for sure. So I think that's all I pretty much have on my end. I don't think we have any more comments.
Are we
David,
gonna
you
plan to
good?
meet in July or?
I think we should. We haven't had meetings for 2 months. I'm good to meet each month if everybody's okay with that.
That would be the 7th.
4th. Yes. July 7th. Yeah, I think
For the
since
next
we haven't
meeting?
met for 2 months, we should probably meet through the summer. If everybody's okay with that. July.
I won't be
and
here in
August.
August.
A Zoom
Okay.
or a physical?
What's that?
Or should we shoot for a physical meeting or a Zoom?
Yeah, I think so by then. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I agree.
But physical in Three Arches or in the main building because it's larger and has a better air exchange system.
Probably in the main
Yeah, we
building.
can spread out.
In the main building, I'll get room in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the meeting room, the manager's old meeting room now next to Pete's old office. So we can use that too. That'd be a nice range for it. Yeah. And anybody wanted to come, we still have room in there.
But again, even at Green, in terms of managing spaces and people, high air exchange and less confinement. So that doesn't work in favor of Three Arches, even for the
True. Good point.
Camp, unless you can open the windows and have a constant.
Yeah. Problem is,
We could finally have our meeting down there at Vermilion Bridge, like we had talked about before.
The outdoor
look at
meetings.
it. We never did that.
Speaking
We'll have
of
them at
that,
the pavilions in the
speaking
park.
of that,
Yeah.
we did have an issue a couple weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend. Apparently, a guy that lives on Village Lane was taking his backhoe into Trenton Road Park and was starting to clear stuff out. A couple of the neighbors called me, the cops came. So if anybody knows anybody over there, you see somebody with a backhoe back in there trying to clean that out, let me know.
What was
we're
he
keeping an
cleaning
eye
out?
on it. Huh?
Like just shrubs or what?
He was looking just to clean it. Yeah, he was knocking down shrubs and everything. And a couple of the neighbors called me back to back on the holiday, and we sent over. The police had gone. Yeah, they called the police. They dealt with it, and then we went back over, and he wasn't doing anything. But I'm going to have my seasonals keep an eye out. He's on Village Lane. 109 Village Lane is where the guy was doing it.
And it's behind his house. You're saying
it was past his property line was the issue. He was clearing out and he just kept going.
Was he doing it for sight line, or was he doing it because he was trying to expand his yard?
I think he was trying to expand his yard because he tried to tell the cops somebody let him do it. I'm like, who? I never heard. So I think he was just trying to clear it out and maybe make his yard bigger. So, but we're going to keep an eye on it. So. Eventually, we'll put that walking path through there. You won't have to worry about it.
That's right around the corner from my house. I wonder.
Yeah. So I know Lainey, you're right by there. So in case you hear anything, let me know. We'll check it out. So that's pretty much what I have.
Okay.
All right.
I have no comment. Anybody else have any comment?
Nope.
No, we're good.
And there's no public comment.
Thanks, David.
All right, good. Yeah, we lost Colleen about 20 minutes ago. She probably wasn't able to get back on. She fell asleep and dropped her phone. I don't know.
No, she said she had to leave at 8
for church.
She said she had to leave at 8.
There you
They have
go.
a Zoom meeting for their church at 8.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
All right, guys.
Hey,
Well,
thanks,
good to
Brian.
see you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, David.
All those in favor?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I
Make a motion
All
to
right,
adjourn the
guys. Take
meeting.
care.
Second.
Bye.
I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.